Hi, my name is Max, and today we're talking about Halloween, specifically Victorian Halloween. Are we surprised? All of my sourcing will be in the description if you want to check that out, and I hope you enjoy.
Max, it's too early for a Halloween video. Max, I don't care. Max, it's not even October.
Shut up. It's not even November, and I already see people talking about Christmas, alright? But when I talk about Halloween, when it is literally almost October, I'm the bad guy. Absolutely not. Eat your candy corn, okay? And shut up. Just shut up. And if I see anything about Christmas, okay, there will be no Christmas video, which would be a shame because I'm planning something pretty fire, alright? Anyway, did you know that the Victorians celebrated Halloween? Because I didn't. I thought that Halloween was such a new thing, and yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it kinda is. The 1860s is not that long ago in the grand scheme of things, but I thought it was such a newer thing, so I never really thought that they would have it going on, but they did. It was also pretty damn popular. It became popular after All Saints' Day kind of disappeared and went out of fashion. All Saints' Day, for context, is basically a day that was, and I'm pretty sure is, about commemorating all of the saints of the Catholic/Christian church. In the Victorian era, on Halloween, people would dress up and try and talk to dead people, but funnily enough, it wasn't with the express intent of being like creepy or spooky like it is now. It had almost like a backing of romance. They had Valentine's Day at that point, and that was kind of still like the romance holiday, but this was still more about love, just with like divination involved. You don't know your husband yet, so you don't know who to give flowers. That's alright, just wait until October and you can figure out who it is. I tried to figure out when the shift between it kind of having that romantic backing to being just full on what it is now, and I couldn't find one. I'm going to assume that it's around when this holiday became more of a kids holiday, which a couple things are like that with this holiday. Trick-or-treating didn't show up until it became a kids holiday either, for obvious reasons, but it was popular with mostly younger adults because it had kind of like a matchmaking kind of thing going on. There were even magazines about how you could like up your Halloween party to one up your neighbor, because this was for middle classes as well. It wasn't just for higher classes like some holidays were back then. While researching for this, I found a lot of different traditions that people do, or like activities that they would do, and I wanted to talk about a couple. One of them was girls would go to the mirror at midnight and try and see their future husband. People would bob for apples, except the first one to get one would get married next, like a bouquet toss kind of situation. But my favorite is the egg one. You boil an egg, right? And then you cut it in half and you take out like the yolk, and then you fill the hole with salt, and then you eat it. And when you're thirsty, you don't go get water. Instead, you go back to bed so that in your dreams, your husband will give you a glass of water. If that's not romance. Obviously, when researching this, I was very surprised to find out how different this holiday used to be. They're nothing alike. I mean, they feel like completely separate things. They even had poetry. 'Twas the Night of All Hallows was printed in 1865 in the Brooklyn Day Eagle and was fire. I would read it, but I don't have time for that. Although I cannot describe how happy I was when researching for this to find out another Halloween stand was publishing seasonally inappropriate pieces of media, and that it was so good. Candy corn, yeah, this that I just threw at you, it was a thing, and it was originally called chicken feed, so the 2 times that I did that, it was appropriate. They did dress up just like we do now, but again, it was at like parties with adults. And according solely to Google Images, these were some popular costumes at the time. A bat, a witch, the devil, and a Maltese water carrier. These parties did have kind of like the backing of matchmaking and that kind of like being a part of the culture in the parties. I'm assuming that's why they looked so good. Also, this was their baseline. Like, our costumes now cannot compete with what these guys were pulling up with. While looking for traditions that we still do have to this day, I tried to look around for pumpkin carving because I was like, that's iconic. Are they being iconic? And I couldn't find anything in the majority of like Europe, specifically in England. And it showed up around here in the US in like the 1860s when Halloween kind of started up. I have a theory as to why. I couldn't find any direct reason why. But the Irish immigrants were the ones who brought pumpkin carving over here. And the English and the Irish didn't like each other that much, like at that point, so... I hope this was interesting. I know this was not very structured. Usually I try and do these structured, but I didn't want to, so it's not. Once again, all sourcing is in the description if you want to check that out, and I hope you enjoyed.